We're coming across to IntroMoon. IntroMoon, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
How are you? You're on with
Hello.
Jeremy. Go
Hi.
ahead.
Hi, Jeremy. Oh my gosh, like I'm such a huge fan. I've been like a huge fan of Adventure Time since I was like 12 when the show came out, and I'm also like a huge fan of Voltron since like episode 1. Like me and my friends in college were so big fans of Voltron that we all associate ourselves with each character, and I was known as Keith in the group, sadly. But
Sadly, no, that's not sad. That's great.
oh yeah,
Keith is cool and brooding, and yeah, he's a space ninja.
love how he
Exactly.
works. Yeah, so honestly, no, I love him so much. But you guys in Voltron, especially you yourself, have been like such an inspiration. And I recently just graduated from college, and it kind of goes into my question. I'm kind of thinking of probably going into the voice acting industry. So I just wanted to know how was it like getting into the voice acting industry, and what pointers could you possibly have for people who want to get into the industry as well?
Definitely. It's a process for sure. I mean, there's the hard thing about acting in general is it's like there's no one way to technically get into it. But I'll just at least explain kind of my background and kind of how I got into it, if that helps in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So for me, I live in Los Angeles, and I started acting when I was about 5 or 6 years old, somewhere in there. And I I knew that I wanted to do acting, and my older brother had done like a job and had like worked on something before I did, and I saw him working on it, and I was like, oh, that's freaking cool! Like I want to do that too. And the first job I ever did was like an independent film that was still union, though. It was a union movie. But weird at the time, I was doing like karate, like martial arts, and my instructor was doing this movie, and it was like kind of a martial arts like karate movie. And so in the movie, they needed like somebody to play a young version of him, and I knew him. I did martial arts. They needed like a young kid that could do martial arts, and so they just cast me in it, and that got me into the union. That was my first job. And so once I was like in the union, it's hard to get in the union, but I had that, and then I just kind of started working my way up and up, from there on throughout the years, doing kind of on camera stuff, which I still do, obviously. And then eventually, when I was about I don't know 8 or 9, the agency that I was at, they had a voiceover department, and they started sending me out on VO jobs, like kind of radio commercial type stuff here and there. And then I just kind of worked my way up in and through that, and just it's just a long process, just going out on a lot of auditions from my agent, and then eventually getting stuff. And that's how I got into it. So I kind of started on camera, and then moved into doing voiceover as well, and doing both over the years. And I've been acting since that age, so that's about like 16 years now or something like that. 17 maybe, somewhere in there. So it's a long process. Granted, there's a lot of people that get into it much quicker than I, or I mean, get into it quicker, or whatever. I guess I got into it fairly quickly, but that have just been steadily working up and through. I think the biggest advice I would give to someone looking to get into it would definitely be comfortability and experience are so important. And that doesn't mean you have to have experience already working. I always say, people that kind of grow up doing like, things like improv, getting comfortable, just coming up with funny, stupid stuff on the spot. And then even like theater and stuff are just such great ways to like gain that comfortability and experience in that sense. And that's always helpful, because that's the hard thing. Like people get in the booth sometimes, or are on a job, and they're kind of like a little bit timid, and they're like, kind of like embarrassed by like doing certain things, even if they're funny. And it's like, no, it's like, just, you got to go for it. You have to just give it 110. I think the best comprehensive advice that I could give is not even something that I could give. Do you know who T. Bradley Baker is?
I actually haven't.
So he's a very fantastic voice actor. He's worked. I mean, Lord, like lots of things, like almost everything. He's done everything from playing like every single clone trooper in the Clone Wars series to he literally voiced Appa and Momo in Last Airbender, like the voice of the animals. Like the dude is very like crazy talented. Anyways, he literally created a website because he gets asked this question a lot, and with like just information and stuff on like how kind of it all like works out and some stuff. So the best advice I would say is go to that. I think it's called howtobeavoiceactor.com. Let me look it up actually, just to be safe. .com. Oh, I say correctly. It is iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. So look up, if you're curious, look up iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. D. Bradley Baker, it's his website. He kind of created all of it. So it's the best, I think, information tool that I could probably give. So that would be my advice.
Cool. Thank you so much. And how very fitting for a title. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he's starting on that adventure IntroMoon, what's your next step in regards to getting that done?
In getting what done? I'm sorry.
Getting into the voice acting and so on. What's your next step? What's your next goal?
Well, I was actually thinking of possibly doing some improv classes on the side while I'm also working, and because my biggest problem is kind of like I'm also pretty shy and timid, but in college I was able to do like some acting classes, and I was in a couple of musicals, and that kind of helped a little bit. So I wanted to do like some type of improv classes to get me out of my shell, and then probably like just starting from there and just going in.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it. I would definitely recommend that. That's awesome. Good luck to you. I hope it turns out well.
Thank you. And also, one more thing, I have like my friend from high school named Jose. He's like a huge Adventure Time fan, big fan of Ben, and he's like super jealous, but he just texted me and said hello.
Awesome. Well, I say hi back.
Thank you so much for being so kind.
Of course, you're welcome. No problem.
Thank you.